Alrighty, hello and welcome everybody. Today we are here for ORL round number 6 for Tier 1. I'm joining you once again from after Tier 2. We are now here for Tier 1 and I am excited to see who can come out on top today. Full grid, only 19 right now. Somebody's going to join in qualifying. And I'm just needing to quickly send that person an invite. Where's TTV? Call me Keg. There we go. Righty. So, as we get underway here, first driver out of the pits, Ryan Puckers in the Alpine. Think he is in for a decent shot at a nice little points finish. Don't know about pole. I think my bet for pole. We haven't seen this person race. It's their debut. Another Lindsay. I'm also called Lindsay, so it's strange to see. And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, Senna makes his return. Yeah, I have no clue who's in for pole. I know Clockson's pretty fast. Physics is pretty fast. SV is quite fast. A DXman, Senna, Geordie, Spark. They're all really fast. But anyway, first lap here in Tier 1 qualifying in Hungary for the sprint. Ryan Puckers gets underway. DRS wide open for the Alpine driver, pushing to the edge of the track. Turn in, nearly get held up by some traffic there. DRS back open in traction. Very difficult to do, but you can get it open nice and early and now carry the speed that you feel comfortable with through this left hand and now cut across back to the right. Flat out round here for the Alpine driver. Very easy stuff, and now just a blip of the throttle and get it in, and now hook it in. Don't touch that curve on the inside. It will definitely spin you around. He runs off the track. The game doesn't invalidate him though, so he's still going to keep pushing on. He's taking out some of the marker boards though, as now entering the tricky middle sector, high downforce part of the track. This is the reason the track runs about 50 to 44 wings, and now flat out through here on the new game, just about, if you're running high enough wing. Purple sector 2, obviously. He's the first one to go through sector 2, so he is the only person to set a time. Now, hard on the brakes. First apex, just holds it tight, doesn't go for a double apex launch. Now, rounding the final corner. This has been a very solid lap time, and a fairly solid banker here for Ryan Puckers, as he's rounding the final corner. 1 minute 17.2. Vipermon's invalidated. Who else is on a lap? The Haas driver is down the gears. Phoenix 16.8, solid from him. Now down the gears. Doesn't look to be great. I don't think it's as fast as Ryan Puckers. No, it's not. So it won't be into the top 2 to the line. Maybe hindered by some traffic. 1 minute 18.0. P3. Vipermon obviously invalid. Chaotic to the line. P3, 17.3. Ghost starting his lap in the Alfa Romeo, but people are also coming to finish their laps. SVYT being one of them. Senna, 15.9 in the Ferrari. Goes provisional pole position. This is ramping up to be quite the opening runs in qualifying here. Double apex it. And now rounding the final corner. Very aggressive on the turn-in. And in to 15.7. Sorry guys, I'm just dealing with something. Sorry, Spicy has taken Call Me Keg C. Anyway, still full grid. Yeah, SVYT, the Ferrari's running 1-2 right now. J-Man in P3, solid showing. Ghosts to the line in the Alfa Romeo. 16.6, P3, not a bad first lap. Loading Rifle, P9, a Pocket P3, 16.0, Wi-Fi limit P4, 16.4. Clockson rounds the final corner now in the McLaren car. There's a car DNF in front of him. He had to miss the apex for that. Would have lost a little bit of time. Still a good lap time though. 15.7, P2, just behind SBYT. Vipermon in the first sector. Anybody else coming to finish a lap though? Spicy, the person who's not meant to be driving. 1 minute 18.8. Absolutely awful. That's why he's not meant to be driving. DXman through sector 1. Sparks through sector 2. So we will indeed go to Vipermon. Actually, yeah, no, Vipermon. Is that Sparks right behind him? No, Sparks is actually... Oh, yeah, it is. We'll go behind, because then we can... Oh, Sparks backed off. So we will actually just go to Vipermon, so I'm a bit indecisive there. Vipermon pushing away through this final sector. Will it be a good lap time? I heard that he doesn't like the track and that he's not got great pace, but it's looking solid. Might be a top 5 here, 16.3 maybe, just somewhere in the 16s. It's a 16.7, so not as good as I thought, but still P8. This grid is very, very competitive. DXman, very hot into the corner. And what's he going to do? Turning it into the apex. I think it might just be a little bit better than Vipermon's time. To the line, it's going to be a 1 minute, 16.4, P6. Good result. Tier 2 driver right there, guys. Tier 2, really pushing hard. Spicy to the line, 18.8, nothing special. Sparks only did a 1 minute 34, so he would have backed out. But now he's getting traffic from Loading Rifle. I know these two have somewhat of an incident history. Loading Rifle blocks Sparks, and that will definitely be a penalty for Loading Rifle. He will be penalised for that. That is illegal blocking, so as long as Sparks reports it, or I might report it after the race, he will get a time penalty for that. Zonix on an outlap, the only person not to set a lap. Geordie didn't. He retired. So, Zonix will be our little hope here. Actually, a pocket. No, he's coming in. Physics through the middle sector. Up, near, not up on his time quite, but he's close, so let's follow through. And he runs out wide, would have lost time. Yeah, he's 2 tenths down, he's now backed out of that. DXman obviously on his in-lap. Sparks pushing again. Will he have the fuel though? I'm not sure. Loading Rifle, the man who blocked him before. P17, and he's all over the show. So Zonix beginning his lap in the Alpha Tauri. They didn't see a lot of screen time in Tier 2 because they double DNF. So Zonix, the run into Turn 1, will go on board with him. Hard on the brakes after the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear, trail off the brakes. He gets a little bit wobbly in traction, gets the DRS nice and wide open though. The battery obviously burning the whole way through the whole lap. Down to 3rd. Gets on that curb, it rotates him, but loses in time in the traction zone. Gets back on the power, though. The run up to this fast left-hander, super hard corner, hardest corner on the track, in my opinion. The way you have to judge the car is so tricky, and you've really got to have some trust there. As now, up the gears, up the gears, up the gears, down to 3rd for the chicane. Geordie has disconnected. Spicy retires from the session, and now pushing through the middle sector. Zonix, honestly, pretty good lap time right now. Runs off the track and invalidates though. So not ideal for him. Wi-Fi limit has just begun a lap though. So we'll go off board with him. We'll just see if he can keep it clean. As Wi-Fi limit off the track he goes. Not ideal. Is he still up on his time? Yes, he is. Not invalidated. As rounding the final 2 corners. Bit of a snap there. Still up on his time, I think. Rounds the final corner. And 16.2. It is an improvement. It didn't even look like a great lap. So P5 for him for the moment. Still has time in that, I reckon. Goes pushing hard in the Alfa Romeo. And SVYT improves. Sorry, I just need to send another person an invite. If you're wondering why I've been going quiet, I've been trying to deal with something that happened with Spicy. There we go. He's going to have to miss the sprint. So only 19 cars for the sprint. But we will have 20 for the feature race because of Spicy's idiocy, to say the least. Anyway, Ghosts up on his time now. Nearly 2 tenths up. He's not invalid either. This would be a good lap for him. This would move him up. Maybe to P4. Ghost pushing hard. And rounding the final corner now in the Alfa Romeo, pushing the absolute limit of his machinery. Gets on the power, doesn't invalidate, doesn't hook it on the curve. He goes 16.3. He must have had a mare of final sector. Senna now. Actually, let's go. Clocks into the line, improves 15.5. He's so close to SV. So close, yet so far. Senna down on his time by 2 seconds. He backed out to go again. Wi-Fi limit finds himself in the wall. He's going to come into the pit lane. DXman 3.5 tenths up on his time. This would move him up past Ghost into P5, I think, past the Wi-Fi limit. DXman rounding the final 2 corners now. A bit of a wobble, but it didn't lose him any time because he was still full throttle. Understeers through the final corner though to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 15.9. Moves him up to P4. Just doesn't beat his teammate. Vipermont pushing hard through the middle sector. He does not look confident with his car though. So this is not ideal for the McLaren driver. Pushing though. He is pushing. Is he up on his time, I wonder, even with that little wobble he had? Yes, he's nearly 3 tenths up. And this would move him just past Phoenix in P9, but he can still pull out a good final sector. Hits the first apex, but just holds it tight instead of taking a double apex line. Now hold through the final corner. Down to 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear to the line. So 1 minute 16.2. P6, yeah, he pulled out a nice final sector. As Sparks pushing again in the Alfa Romeo. We'll go on board with him, up the gears, up into 7th. Now, blip down to 6th, hit the apex, run out wide, but he ran out too wide and invalidated. Zonix, though, is about to round out his lap time. Not sure it's going to be anything spectacular, but it is a lap time at the end of the day, and any time's better than no time. Zonix, actually, it is going to be a pretty solid lap time. Nothing, I don't think top 10. It is top 10, it's P7, 16.2. Good lap there from Zonix. And anybody else on a lap? DXman isn't pushing. Oh, is he? Oh, he is going to push, so we'll go on board with the telemetry enabled. DXman runs out wide and invalidates. That's unfortunate. Zonix, though, up on his time, but he's out of battery, so he will lose a lot of time when he gets into acceleration zones. Will he still be able to improve on his time despite being so low on battery? There's only 3 minutes 20 seconds left to go in this qualifying session, so people are coming after their last run. Zonix invalidates. He has to get back into the pit lane ASAP if he wants to try and prove a pocket down through turn 1 in the Mercedes W14, the Black Arrow, as some people call it, but the team is the Silver Arrows. Gets to the first apex, turns, gets it back across to the right, and absolutely flying through the first couple of corners now. He's 7 thousandths up on his time. He runs out wide and invalidates on his last run. He's going to need to charge the battery up now. Senna is about to begin his lap. I'll leave you with a pure off-board lap in qualifying here. So Senna looks to be pushing hard now. Gave you a pure first sector. And I'll now just run me through, but he's down on his time in his final run. The final run curse is into play once again. And he invalidates. That is huge for his qualifying session. He was a pole contender. The Pockix in P3. He did invalidate his last run. We'll actually just go to J-Man because we have been watching a lot of a Pockix down through turn 1. The man in P12 will be looking to improve. J-Man, obviously the man, the myth, the legend himself. But will he have the pace? He's a race pace sort of guy. He's pulled out some insane race results before. But he has never really been the quality type. So let's see what he can pull out here. Off board with the Aston in the British Racing Green. 20 thousandths up on his time. Or 200ths up on his time. And through the chicane. I don't know if he found the apex or not. But he found the second curb. Gets through the entering into sector 2. Back across. SV did a 15.2. That should surely be pole, unless some other drivers can pull some absolute stonking laps out of their arsenal here. Now rounding through the final sector. I didn't catch the middle sector split for J-Man. What's he going to be able to do rounding the final 2 corners? He's going to come into the final corner now. It's looking to be kind of solid. Nothing world record setting though. It's going to be a 1 minute 16.5. Moves him up nowhere actually. He stays in P12. Ryan Puckers beginning his lap, but I want to move to a Pockix. He just improved on his time. Is he pushing again? No, he's done in qualifying. Wi-Fi limit also comes into the pits. Vipermon. There's 10 seconds to go left in this session. Will DXman start his lap? Yes, he will. We'll go on board with the Mercedes driver. Let's see how he keeps it together. DXman going into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Will he find the apex? Yes, he will. Good exit there for DXman. This is a very close finish here to this ORL qualifying session. Hard on the brakes at the 50-meter board. He runs out wide. That's going to lose him all sorts of lap time. And he's half spun around and hit the wall. So that's an end to his qualifying session. Vipermon, though, through the final sector now. How's he running? He's 2.5 tenths up. This would put him nearly ahead of Senna. He needs to find just that little bit more in the final sector now. Can he do it? Can he find that final push, that good exit out of the final corner maybe? Whatever it is where he needs to find the time in sector 3. Can he do it to the line? Will he beat Senna for P6? No, he won't. He stays P7. Zonix to the line though. Might end up topping Vipermon here and get P7, the tier 2 driver, pushing super hard. What's the lap time going to be? It's a 1 minute 15.8. The tier 2 driver has gone P4. Great result here. Now, the person with the same name as me, Lindsay and the Ass, rounding the final 2 corners, was 6 tenths up, but runs out wide there. Bad exit. Will they improve though? They need to at least get into the 17s. Surely they can. Opening up the DRS. It's a 1 minute 17.2. Doesn't improve their position though. So, SVYT on pole with a 15.2 dominant display from him there. PRT clocks in though, P2 in the McLaren biting at his heels, 2.5 tenths back, and then a Pockix rounds out your top 3. Notes for people crucial in this race. Zonix, P4 in the tier 2 driver. Senna, poor quality, will be looking to get back through, and obviously don't count out J-Man. So the drivers will be preparing their strategies. And getting their fuel loads ready, maybe even making some slight setup tweaks, but we do have park firme enabled, so all they can do is maybe bump the front downforce. As we come to 5 red lights, and away we go. The lights went out instantly, and there wasn't the glitch delay like there normally is. SV gets off to a great start here. A pole kick moving up into P2. He's side by side with Cloxton into turn 1. Cloxton puts the pressure on there, 4 wide into turn 1. The Williams, the Alpine, the Mercedes, and I believe it was a McLaren or a Red Bull. Sparks already gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. That would probably be a triple warning. They're side by side into turn 2. DXman dropping down the field. Needs to get back on the power quickly on the inside as they head through turn 3. Keeps the position just about. They're going 2 wide into this 1x1 section. Lindsay and Loading Rifle out of the race. The Alpine and the Williams were side by side. And I think the Williams got the position. So, hectic start here to the Div 2 sprint, and it's Tier 1 sprint, and PRT Cloxton holds P2 just about. YT holds P1 though. A pocket P3, Senna up into P4 already. Zonix dropping down 1 place. Wi-Fi limit P6. DXman I think holds his starting position in P7. Physics up to P8. And Ryan Pucker is P9. Vipermon P10, not great for him. Goes P11. Sparks already got that 3-second. I don't understand how, as there's also some dramas going on at the back here. Spicy and Sparks. Don't know what's going on there. And yeah, so that is your run through grid order for the sprint. Everyone should park up behind the safety car, and there's nothing really much else to talk about. Sorry, I always run out of things to talk about on the safety car. I guess strategy, I mean, it doesn't really play into it. We're all just on softs. Geordie, P18, maybe got collected, or just wants another fresh set of softs just for the sake of it. 1 lap fresher tyres than the rest of the field. Could be the difference between him getting through and not, I guess. He doesn't really lose anything. So the Alpine driver needs to get back through. He was our normal. He's a person we'd normally expect to go for pole position, but I think he disconnected during quali. So he loses his little pole streak, I believe, that he was on. So obviously safety car not in this lap. As that was a Mercedes, their DXman slow. So maybe had a little bit of a spin, sorry I wasn't looking at my screen, I'm not on it today apparently. Hopefully Geordie can get his way back up through the grid. Still have 18 cars left in the sprint race, so this should still be a good afternoon, or nearly becoming nighttime, of action-packed racing in Hungary. So we should see the safety car come in at the end of this lap and we can get underway for some more racing action. Tier 2 is very similar when it comes to the sprint safety car early on and then another safety car late. Hopefully we don't see that, because I want to see another 5 laps of racing after this lap, hopefully. Yep, and as I suspected, safety car in this lap. So, 5 lap sprint shootout almost effectively. So almost just like a 5 lap social race, but it is a competitive league race and it can set the starting grid for the feature race. SV got on the power there, baited it, and he's gone early now. And he has a 5/10 gap to a pocket as they enter the straight. A pocket shouldn't be going for any moves into turn 1, unless he's gaining, which he actually is gaining quite fast, but he is going to back out, not use his battery. Anybody else going side by side as they head into turn 1? Up the field, yes, there's a Williams. Physics going side by side with Clarkson. Physics finds himself off the track though. Down the order though, there's an Alpine and Physics going side by side once again, much like on lap 1. Who's going to come out on top this time? Ryan Puckers has the inside, so he'll probably find that he is going to be the one that gets the position. J-Man in P11, 1 position up on where he started. He'll make more places in the actual race, not the sprint race. Geordie trying to find his way through, but this tier 1 grid is super close and super competitive, so he's going to find it a harder time than he would in most other leagues. And SV has absolutely gapped 8/10 up the road from a pocket. Senna in P3, maybe trying to make it a Ferrari 1-2 here in the sprint. What will he be able to manage? But also, back down here, Clarkson goes up the inside of Wi-Fi limit for P5. Bit of a dive bomb there. Gets the move done. Minimal wheel banging though. Wi-Fi limit tries to go right around the outside. Can't get that done though. And that's a move done for Clarkson. But as they enter the straight, the slipstream might be powerful enough for Wi-Fi limit to try to go back up the inside. SB 16.7. So, good fastest lap for him. Wi-Fi limit tries to go the long way round. He switches it! And what a move this would be if he can pull it off, but he's forced over the curb. Clarkson on the inside for the next corner, and he gets the move done. Puckers, though, trying to now get up the inside of Wi-Fi limit. They're side by side. Now Wi-Fi has the inside, sweeps through, and can't quite get the move done. Puckers right around the outside, gets it done, and now Wi-Fi loses the position to Viper onto Wi-Fi limit now, just dropping all sorts of places. And, oh no, Senna! He was looking for a podium place here in the sprint, and now it's all fallen to pieces for him. But we've now been attention brought to this mid-pack, and there's a mega train here going on. This is some great racing. Geordie, P14, so got past Goggy. Now needs to try to get past Phoenix, but there's no real drives that are a heap slower than him, so he has some work to do, and it's cut out for him. Vipermont, massive snap there. As I said in qualifying, he doesn't look confident with his car. As he spins as I say that, he's in the wall and he's out of the sprint. Will that be a safety car? He's out of the race. It's not a safety car, at least not yet. Clarkson gaining on Zonix. Can't quite get anything done. The Alfa Romeo of Ghosto going for a move on Physics on the inside. Who will get the better traction? It looks like it's Ghost, and Ghost sails through into P7. Will he now be able to go for a move on Wi-Fi limit up into the top 6? This will be a great result for the Alfa Romeo driver. J-Man in P10 looking for a move on Senna after Senna spun, and in typical Senna faction is on 2% ERS. What's new though in the world of Senna? As 2 laps to go left in this race, J-Man doing quite well for himself because he's only in P10, so it's not going to be sprint race points, but it'll start him out in the points for the main race if he can just hold on to that P10. As Wi-Fi limit pushing hard behind Ryan Puckers now. Crosses to the left, obviously that's where the corner goes. Gets a good exit, makes contact though. Ryan Puckers gets it out of shape though because of the slightest tap of all time. Wi-Fi limit though now forces Ryan Puckers wide, and Puckers nearly spins, holds it together though. Great display of car control. He's now side by side with Ghost. Will Ghost pick up the throttle earlier? Yes he does. What a move. Right around the outside. Good traction there. Puckers all over the back of him. Physics will now try to get involved. as they head to the run down the straight. DRS now enabled though, and this will put Wi-Fi limit under the pump a little bit. Ghost doesn't go for it though. Physics does go for it. Pockets closes the door though. This brings Senna into it. There's a big tank slapper there for Ghost, I believe. There might have been contact. I might have just not seen it, but Ghost did get all out of shape there, and that now brings Senna and J-Man and Geordie into this. Geordie gives J-Man a bit of a squeeze there, but I'm sure that's just hard racing, and it would be respected. As now Chaotic and Gozzy Games nearly went too wide through that corner. Wouldn't have been their smartest move. Phoenix down in P13. Looking to make up some places. There's a yellow flag. Looks like it's probably Sparks. So no, it's DXman. As Geordie now moves up into P9. As there's a spin at the back. It's Physics, and that's a massive crash. On lap 7 out of 8. That's the Red Bull out of it. Collected. And we have no ghosting, and I don't know if he knew that or not. And that's also DXman out of the race. So quite a few DNFs here. Ghost in P8 gets sent nearly by Geordie. Backed out of it though. Geordie will be looking to move up into some points here in the sprint. As we're now onto the final lap of the sprint race. It's all to play for now in this car train. In this 4-car train. Senna tries to go up the inside. They're 3 wide into turn 1. Can Ghost make it work? Senna on the inside. Ghost backs out. Ghost now gets a good moment. Oh, and Senna spins around. And he collects Ghost. And he collects Geordie. Geordie won't be happy at all. Senna too early on the throttle. Ghost now collected, but still in P10. But Sparks is going to sail on through. Not ideal. J-Man's going to pick up some sprint points as long as he can bring this home. And Aston will now get P8 and P9 as long as they can all bring it home. Goggy Games, though, on the back of Ryan Puckers. Puckers is slow. And will Goggy Games go up the inside now to chicane? He definitely thought about it. Didn't quite commit to it, though. Goggy Games pushing hard, pushing hard. Will he get it through the middle sector? He's all over the back of Ryan Puckers here. Will he be able to get it done? I don't think he will. As he gets a good exit though, he's going to try it, go right around the outside. He switches to the inside. And that's a move done as just quickly SVYT crosses the line to win the sprint race in Hungary. A Pocket P2, Zonix P3. Great result for the Tier 2 driver. Back to Goggy. Gets a bit out of shape there. Will J-Man go up the inside? No. He'll take the sprint race points. Comes home P8. Wi-Fi limit P5. Clocks in P4. Goggy to the line. What the f*** was that? Interesting tactics, but J-Man still just comes home P8. He's just been sideswiped across the line. J-Man nearly lost his points. Ryan Puckers, if J-Man lost positions, there would have got a hefty time penalty. Phoenix P9, Ghost rounds out the top 10, Sparks gets P12, Senna P11. So an interesting end to your sprint race, to say the least. My word, okay. SVYT picks up P1, a Pocket P2, Zonix P3, Clocks and P4, Wi-Fi limit P5, Goggy Games rounds out your top 6, and there's the rest of your order there on the screen. And I must say, an action-packed sprint. Who got your fastest lap of the race? I think SV got it. As we're coming to the feature race here, and it's looking like it's going to be action-packed. as I'm sure there'll be a few reports of that sprint race. Pretty good racing, but there just were a few incidents. So as we come to 5 red lights here, as they hit the throttle down and they get a good start, does SVYT. A Pocket gets an even better one though, and he's going to sail into P1. They're going to go side by side as they go into turn 1, and they're going to go forward at the back again. SV on the outside. On the soft tyre though, a Pocket gets a better start. All out of shape there is Zormex, the podium sitter from the sprint, dropping down the field. There's still time left in this race though. They're all avoiding him. As up the back here, loading rifle on the inside. They'd make contact there. Moving back up the field, Geordie already up into P9, and there's a virtual safety car for things I don't even know what's happening. Sparks are spun at the back. No DNS. The Hasses are P19 and 20 respectively, though. Good first lap there from Geordie, from P12 to P9. Up into the points already. Senna in P7, Physics in P8. A Pocket took the lead, though. I reckon he's the biggest winner because now he's in the position to defend. J-Man up into P5. Great start from him. As Chaotic and Vipermon are doing some weird switchy stuff under the virtual safety car. And Sparks, with all the work to do, he was doing well in Tier 2, not anymore. And Ryan Pucker's leading this train with no front wing as they're going to go green flag running. He's going to run wide. People are going to need to find their way past him. He's causing all sorts of carnage. Sparks on the inside. Chaotic now gets the inside for this next part. Pucker's not doing them a service at all. As Puckers with no wing holding up quite a few people, but I'm just going to move back up the grid. Clockson on SVYT, but SVYT on a Pocket goes up the inside for the lead of the race. Switchback there from a Pocket, but Clockson stops him from going for a switchback and goes for a switchback of his own. Will he get right around the outside of SVYT? I doubt it. SVYT on the soft tyre, but now a Pocket right up the inside of Clockson once again. Can't quite pull it off though. And that was some brilliant racing there, and I have a feeling this lead fight will rage on all race. As moving down the field, Ghost in P6 will be looking to make pressure for J-Man here, and PRT Center will be looking to climb his way up through the grid. Physics in P8. Geordie, though, needs to get a move on in P9, but there's still plenty of time left in this race, 23 laps. As Vipermon running wide there, Puckers stayed out with no wing. Puckers has stayed out with no wing. Not smart for Puckers there, and I have no idea what he's trying to do here, and he's just going to cut that corner. Probably got a warning for it. Yeah, not sure what Puckers is doing. Maybe he missed the pit lane because he understeered out. It's happened before as Geordie Slater in P8, but meanwhile, Ghost and Senna side by side through the final corner. Ghost is on the soft compound tyre though, and Senna, as always, actually, Senna's not all of his battery gone in 3 laps, but now it's already 50% gone. As they head into turn 1, I assume Senna will try to switch it back. No, he's just going to try to go right around the outside, but there's a safety car at perfect timing for Ghosts. I think Ghost lost the position, sadly, even though he was ahead. That's unfortunate. As Wi-Fi limit DNF, I have no idea where. Puckers comes in for a new wing and a couple of drivers into the box. Sparks up into P13 after not pitting. A few people who missed the pit lane won't be happy, but I think they get to pass the safety car. So yeah, they do. They just about hold the advantages of the safety car being out. As I'm sorry guys, but I drank too much water during Tier 2 and a little bit at the start of Tier 1. I need to quickly go to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry guys. Righty guys, I am back. Let me just take a look. Okay, so no changes in position from a first glance. Take a proper look in a sec. Ugh. Righty, so lap 5 and we're under safety car running. SV obviously still holding the lead, goes in P7. Already up and P8 and P12 at the start of the race, not a bad start at all. Safety car should be in this lap. Let's check who pitted then. Detail. It seems like DXman pitted, loading rifle pitted, Puckers pitted. That seems about it. So safety car hopefully in at the end of this lap. And I'm excited to see how this goes. Yep, so the safety car is in this lap and SBYT takes control. He bolted early last time, will he switch it up now? And try to go for a late restart? So SV still weaving. He's gone at the same time he did last time. And SV gets a good restart here. Loxon though, right behind him. Will he go for a move as they head into turn 1 now? He's gaining with the slipstream, but it's not going to be enough to go for a move further down the field. Are there any moves going on? Yes, there is. Geordie Slater on Ghosts on Zonex. And Geordie Slater gets through into P7 now. Will Zonex pressure Ghost? No, he's not quite close enough. Further down the field though, there's a yellow flag. It looks like a spun Mercedes. As here we go, loading rifle goes up the inside of the Haas, pushes him wide just a little bit, but gets through. And DXman now looking for a switch. And will he go for a move on loading rifle? Not quite yet. He looked for it, but couldn't quite get close enough. Zonex now in P9, super close behind Ghost, can't quite get anything to work. Geordie moves up into P6. Ghost thought about going for it on center. They nearly made contact there, and nearly swooping back past was Zonex, and now Zonex and Physics are side by side. Zonex holds the position though. Now back up to Ghost. Will he go for a move on center? No, he baits it. And here we go. Now Geordie Slater on J-Man once again, like in the sprint. Gets the move done. Center now tries to go up the inside though on J-Man, and they touch. But they just about keep it on the track. J-Man won't be happy with that at all, though. He was pushed just a little bit. And now he's getting swallowed by the whole field of angry cars behind him. But J-Man just about defends from Ghost for the moment. But J-Man has really nowhere to defend and to go from Ghost here. And he's going to have to go side by side as they're nearly going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Zonex on the inside, J-Man on the outside. Ghost gets sandwiched, but they don't touch. Brilliant pieces of racing here. Will J-Man be able to hold on from Zonex? They nearly go 3 wide, and they do go 3 wide into turn 2, and J-Man is spun around, and that's him hit too. Phoenix out of the race. The Aston Martins have had an absolute mare, and that's another full course caution, and that's a safety car. So, a lot to unpack there. I assume there'll be some reports made about it. But, for the moment, it's all good. J-Man luckily didn't DNF, but Phoenix annoyingly did. So J-Man won't be happy that his reserve DNF because of something that he got collected in. Yeah, as you would expect, J-Man into the pits with no wing. I think a lot of people will just be in anyway because of strategy, and they think the Hearts can make the end. Geordie stays out, though, and Senna stays out, too. So does Zonic. So Zonic's back onto P3. Geordie, though, up into P1. So that's a big shake-up from the race. Obviously, SV came in. I think he's going to come out P5. Yes, he did. So this shakes up the order and definitely puts a spanner in the works for a few drivers. This is the first time Geordie will have control of a restart this race. SV has had control over all the other restarts, so Geordie will be looking to put the burners on a little bit and pull away from Senna and P2 and hopefully just create a bit of a buffer to P3 and P4. He is on old mediums though, but they're not super old. It's only lap 8. The pace discrepancy will be quite high though. Safety car was not in that lap, I imagine, because not everybody had caught up to the field. So one more lap under this boring safety car, and we will get underway. But hopefully it doesn't take too long to get going. So Geordie, yeah, under a bit of pressure to perform. So I imagine once we round this corner, the safety car message will come out that it's coming in at the end of this lap. The whole field's bunched up, there's no debris left on track, and there we go. We get the message. Safety car is in this lap. Will Senna or Geordie lead through turn 1? It all depends on how Geordie gets restarted, but Senna doing a bit of a Max Verstappen pull alongside Geordie there. You're not allowed to do that, so if that's reported, he will get a nice little warning, or depending on how bad it was, a bit of a slap on the wrist. So, Geordie now, when will he go? Will he go as late as possible to give Senna a low slipstream into turn 1? Or will he go early like Puckers? He runs out wide, you can see him setting himself up, and he gets a good exit, and he bolts away. Senna, though, didn't get caught out too badly by it. And they're pushing hard as they head into turn 1. Senna doesn't quite have enough speed to go for the move. SV, YT and Viper on side by side though. YT gets the move right around the outside. They're still side by side. Puckers and Chaotic are out of the race. So is Sparks though. That's a massive crash at turn 1 as it seems. I didn't quite catch what happened, but they're all the way off the track in the runoff area. So that doesn't look particularly right. Maybe a straight line, so that would be a ban for whoever did it. But it just seems weird that 3 cars have all ended out up there. Ryan Puckers leaves the session. And SVYT did get through. Zonic's into P2. Senna must have had a moment down into P5. I wasn't paying attention because I was too busy looking at the minimap. So as they head through the chicane, they're 2 wide goalie games in a pocket. Make a little bit of contact there. That's a Williams round. Yeah, I think it's physics. No, it was loading rifle. It's loading rifle. Rejoins right into Spicy. And that is not perfect there. We don't have ghosting on, and I don't think people realise that. Loading rifle, though. Ooh! Out of the race. In the wall. If that's a safety car, that'd help out Geordie a lot. Doesn't seem to be, though. Geordie pushing away in P1, though. Out in front by 0.8 of a second. So SVYT now trying to sail through on Zonic. Gets the move done before the corner begins. And now SV is left to chase Geordie while he's on fresh medium tyres. So SV pushing hard. Will he be able to close up though? But moving further down the field here. Ghosts on Goggy Games. They head into the left-hander. Wouldn't be Ghost's smartest move to go through there. And yeah, just can't quite pull it off. Goggy quite close behind DXman though. Will he go up the inside? No. He thinks better than to end his own race. 5 DNFs in this race so far. As all Goggy Games a bit too heavy over the curb there. Loses a bit of time. Now Ghost glide out through the left, lift through the right, get out to the edge of the track limit, and Ghost can't quite dive up the inside. I'm going to move back to the leaders though. SV very close behind Geordie. Geordie's mediums are indeed dead. So as we head onto the straight, no DRS yet, but look at the exit SV got on the fresh tyres. Geordie's in his first tyre drop-off stage. And YT clears him. Geordie has no defense for it. He tries to go for a switchback though. Can he quite pull it off? No, he can't. And that means he has to wait. Maybe later on in the race. I think he's bagging on a safety car coming out now for his strategy to work, because it's such an unusual strategy. If he comes in now, he'll drop to basically what is the back of the grid. Goggy and DXman though, side by side. Goggy through. Will Ghost go for it now? He tries to go right around the outside. This is ballsy. Goes off the track just, and they're still side by side. They make contact. Goggy has to go off the track, but he doesn't rejoin dangerously. He loses out a few places. Physics gives the position back though, and Goggy in P9 only lost out 1 position, but now needs to close back up. DXman though, decent move from there, but without the contact would have been nice. So, Clockson in P3, nearly rear end Zonix. Bit hot on the brakes there, maybe. Zonix running in the podium places will be loving life. But he is on old tyres, much like Geordie, so he will have to come into the pits at some point in the near future, you would imagine. So, Clockson gaining on Zonix, but not quite close enough though, as we head into turn 1. Ghost just pulls to the right-hand side. Will he get through on Vipermon? They're going wheel to wheel as they head through turn 1. Great overtaking spot. Oh, Vipermon all out of shape, though. Hit Ghost, but there wasn't any dirty intent. He just got a bit out of shape. So, where's the closest battle on track? It's between Zonix and Clockson. DRS, I think, is now enabled. So this should be an interesting fight now. Clockson pushing super hard behind Zonix. Don't go deep on the brakes this time. He's Zonix defending really well there. And it's quite impressive from him. He tries to go up the inside. He does go up the inside. Will he get it done though on those hard tyres? Has more grip than Zonix. Pulls off the move before they get to the corner. But will Zonix with a dash of DRS be able to get back and going again? As he's pushing hard, but I think Clockson is clear for the moment. At least for now, as Zonix did gain, but not quite enough. Goggy all over the back of DXman after their little contact earlier. He'll be looking to get back through with the DRS into turn 2. Can't quite get it done. Carrying nice minimum speed though. DXman all over that curb. Goggy a little bit out of shape there, lagging just that slight little bit. But for the moment, running all right. Boggy pushing hard in P8. Clarkson retires from the race. He's had a moment at the chicane. We'll have to look at this from Senna's point of view. That is a huge crash, and that's huge for this race. Clarkson being out of this race, he was one of the contenders for a podium. His car's disappeared, but he was off to the right-hand side. And that is definitely interesting to see. I wonder how he DNF'd. Did he lose it on his own? Or did he have a crash with someone? I guess we'll have to find out later on in the steward's room when the report happens if there was an incident. I think my bet would be lost it on his own though on the sausage curve as we head into turn 1 now with the DRS. Goggy pushing hard behind DXman, doesn't have the straight line speed though to close up. And he just needs to keep pushing. DXman tyres. Oh, speaking of it, DXman all out of shape. Goggy right through, just about into the braking zone. DXman falls behind. So those are the sort of errors he needs to bag on there, Goggy, and he played it well. A pocket in P4 on hards. They definitely can make the end, but they will be feeling themselves soon. Zonex and Geordie, though, yet to pit. Their tyres will be on fire. They will not be liking it, and they will need to pit at some point in, like, I would assume the next 5 to 7 laps. So they're really banging on a safety car, but the safety car has not been coming out at all whatsoever. So this is the closest battle on the track. These three ghosts, Apokic and Zonex, all pushing super hard, but Zonex is the one without the DRS. Apokic tries to go the long way around, gets it before the braking zone, but Zonex comes back up the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel as the DRS opens once again. There's a little bit of wheel banging, I believe. Ghost tries to make it 3 wide, realizes it isn't a smart choice. Now Zonex on the outside of Apokic. Will he get the move done? Apokic through. And now for Ghost. Oh no, there's a massive crash. And Ghost finds himself into the wall, but he holds P6. Zonex didn't get damage, I don't think, luckily for him. And he's dropping positions though. Just poor exit while side by side, and Ghost just hit him. I don't think Ghost got damage, so he gets to continue on his day, but definitely not fortunate, as a few people have picked up 3-second time penalties now. Geordie being one of them, and then Goggy Games, and then Senna, who also, as always, has no battery. But what do we expect from him now at this point in our lives? We always just see him burn and burn and burn and burn the battery. So, as now, there's no close battles going on track. Geordie now commits to having to pit. I imagine Zonex will too after that spin. It only makes sense. Geordie will pit for hard. Soft tyres won't make the end in my opinion, but he does go to the softs. What do I know? He does have a big setup spreadsheet that tells you how long they last. Zonex, as I predicted, does also come into the pit lane. After his spin, maybe he has to replace his wing, but I doubt it. There was a big contact, but nothing came off his wing. And normally in the F1 game, till something comes off someone's wing, it's normally alright. Anyways, he comes into the pits. Does he have to replace his wing? No, he doesn't. Lucky man. Physics, though, all over Ghosts now. 7/10 behind. This is the move for P5 in the race. Obviously, Ghosts, after that incident, not bad being in P5. If he can close back up to the cars he's faster than in Goggy Games and TXman, he could find himself well back onto the podium, but he has a bit of work to do in that time span. And Physics closing, but not closing enough, but they are approaching the DRS straight of turn 1. Ghost runs wide, maybe feeling the tyre wear a little bit. He might have to come in mediums. I don't know when he pitted onto those mediums, though. I don't know if he's in the same boat as Geordie and he didn't pit. I didn't pay insane amounts of attention, but here we go. Physics on Ghost. Ghost defends the inside. Will that be the right choice? Physics will have the better exit, though, and depending on the traction, might be able to get the move done. Ghost, though, gets the power down, has a bit of a wobble. Physics tries to go for it. Ghost defends well for the moment, pulling off a Giga Alonso defense. As, oh, there's a spin. It's DXman, so that brings up Ghost into P4. But yeah, he's in a very similar place to SVYT on those mediums. They will go off. I don't think they can make it. I truly don't. They pitted so long ago. I swear mediums can't last as long around Hungary. It's a high tyre wear circuit. You've got to take that into mind. Zonix behind... Oh no, Zonix is... He had to pit for Inters, I would assume, so he's pitted to a set of hole. I don't know what that's about. Anyway... I don't know why he pitted to Inter. It's probably my mistake. Meanwhile, Geordie all over the back of Senna now. On those soft tyres. Clearly going to get through up the inside. Senna powerless to defend from that Alpine. And Geordie will continue on his merry way. Still in the top 6. Nice and comfortably. And DXman is out of the race. That's huge. There's a car coming up to him. It's J-Man. That moves J-Man into 9th place. Not a lot of finishes. Geordie says first lap of the race on the softs. As you would expect, the car has been cleared already, so we don't get to see the scene of the accident. But there's so many DNS, not even from big incidents, but just from people just not holding it together. This track is tough, and it's proving difficult for our Div 1 drivers. Meanwhile, Physics still trying to make a move, but Geordie on his fresh softs sails by. Nobody can defend from this man on a mission. He has to pull 3 seconds to these two, though, and his softs will die off. Geordie runs outside the track limits there. Ghosts all over the road. His mediums are truly gone. Geordie, though, gonna try and make a mega move in their round, and that's a massive crash for Geordie and Ghosts. Geordie just tried to poke his nose up, maybe where he should have just backed out a little bit. And that is not the ideal situation. He was just flying along, and he will continue to, but his softs won't like that extra wear. As Ghost gets a 3-second time penalty. Ghost finds himself without a front end plate, though, and Geordie got away with no damage, luckily, but closing up again will be annoying for sure. As Ghost in P6 will probably come in to replace his wing. Yes, he does. Geordie sails along his way, but now he has 4 seconds to close once again, and those softs aren't in the peak condition they once were now, because they'd be overheated from the big incident. As now Physics behind Senna. Senna all over the place now on those hards. Looks like they're even starting to wear a little bit, but only 2 people in this race won't get points. Pushing hard though. Physics is he's having a very good race. Senna though, P4 has a 3 second, so that puts Physics in P4 for the moment provisionally. And Senna has a 13-second gap to P3, so it looks like, at least for the moment, fingers crossed, Doggy Games, I don't think this is debut, but in one of his first races, in P3, will get a podium. And then SV out the front, absolutely dominating, a pocket 10 seconds behind in another world. As Senna out of battery as always. Trying to fight his way out of 3 seconds to Physics, and meanwhile Geordie gained 3 seconds in that time and is nearly close back up to Physics after his incident with Ghost, but then once again, like Senna, has to get up into 3 seconds away, and he will also want to chase down Senna, but I don't think his tyres will last that long. So Geordie 8 tenths now to Physics. Will catch him at some point during this lap. When will his softs go off? I think they'll probably just go off around the final lap, so Geordie won't be too stressed, but he needs to use the rest of that little tyre that he has left. As Physics has lagged back, unless I missed something because I just wasn't paying attention. And Geordie through into P5 now, has to chase Senna. Senna, though, also catching some lap traffic of Spicy. And Senna gets past him very quickly. Geordie also gets past him alright. Lost him a little bit of time, but nothing too important there. Geordie now, though, has to push. And even Geordie's running low on battery nowadays. What is going on? The Senna has had influence on these drivers. He must have. Anyway, Geordie within 1 second of Senna now, but didn't quite pick up the DRS because he wasn't at the detection zone. Geordie now has to push. He truly has to, and his tyre won't have much left in it, but to be fair, normal Sennas, they pitted all oh so many laps ago, and now it's lap 22 out of 25. Geordie pushing hard, and Senna is understeering and oversteering at the same time now, and they're just trying to close up the gap. He will be within DRS and should sail by into turn 1, but will Geordie try send it earlier? Flashbacks to last season against Gordo, heading into, not this corner, but the corner after the mini straight. If he gets a good run, him and Gordo this time last season had a little incident, but Geordie won't go for it. And now he's going to get the DRS, and god damn, this audio glitch is annoying. Sorry guys, I'm also just going to quickly turn down my graphics settings because my PC is starting to run hot. Sorry. My PC is starting to sound like a jet engine. You guys probably can't hear it, but it is. So I don't want my PC to die, but there we go. We can see in the background there, Geordie on the inside of Senna, and barrels through into, I believe, P4. There we go, back to potato graphics we go. Viper1 picks up a 3-second time penalty now. And Geordie pushes past Senna, and he has more than 3 seconds to physics, obviously, with those soft tyres. He won't be able to catch up to Goggy in a lap, or 2 laps. But he can at least just try pull away and get some safety to Senna, as his tyres are probably about to drop off completely. J-Man rejoins the session. Still in the points. Zonex picks up a 3-second. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers don't have track limits penalties. Track limits at Hungary aren't too bad. As there we go, Goggy Games lapping Spicy? No. P11. As at turn 1, there's a yellow flag. It's Viper1 spun round, but he won't lose any position from it. Ghost is only just entering the entry to turn 1's braking zone. And the closest gap on the track is these two. It'd be, just quickly, it wouldn't be funny for him, but it'd be funny if SV got a nice old time penalty. I mean, not a time penalty, nice old puncture, because he pitted ages ago on those mediums. But on the final lap of this race, we'll go off board. This has been a dominant display, much like Hudson winning in Tier 2. He's just gotten the lead and sailed away with it, and he's going to win by roughly 12 to 15 seconds, depending on how good this final lap is. A Pocket gave it his all, but P2 he'll be happy with. SVYT running away with it in Tier 1. He didn't really have a shadow of doubt ever in this race that he wasn't going to win, I would imagine. And he's just pulled and pulled and pulled. As now SV through the middle sector, just pulling away ever so slightly, more and more and more. I mean, what more can you ask? of a driver like SB. He's going to win for Ferrari as he rounds the final 2 corners. I don't know if he's won yet before, but he's going to now round the final corner. And he's going to win for Ferrari in the Tier 1 Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's the Grand Slam, P1 in qualifying, P1 in the sprint, and P1 in the race. A pocket now rounding the final corner. P2 for the Mercedes driver. Goggy Games will come home in P3. Geordie now about to round the final corner in the Alpine. And he's going to get P4 just past Senna, who's also rounding the final corner to come home P5. Physics will come home P6 in the Williams. Decent result for him. That's a good amount of points. And then loosely followed by Vipermon 9 seconds back. And then Ghost is in the background. Vipermon runs out wide. Runs to the line. P7 for Vipermon. Ghost gets P8 in the points for Alfa Romeo. Zonix P9. J-Man DNFs apparently because he left the session. I think he lagged out. That's a bug. He might get it reinstated. And Spicy and the other Haas comes home P11 and P12. The only 2 drivers out of the points that finish. Alrighty. So I'll just quickly scroll you through your finishing results in a moment. Just quickly get through these screens, eh? We'll skip the podium sequence. We'll give you a look at the leader. There you go. So, your main race results are as follows. SVYT, a Pocket, Goggy Games, Geordie, Senna, Physics round out the top 6, and then the rest are on your screen. Alrighty, let's get going for interviews then, shall we? So, Comms VC, going to the Tier 1 chat. SV, Goggy, a Pocket. Now we just need Goggy to join. He might not. Can someone just let me know if he joins? And I'm talking about you two in the chat. If you can just keep an eye on a Pocket. Okay, we'll just move to socials. VC SV, just join socials.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we have our 3 podium sitters here for post-race interviews. We'll start with your P3 sitter, Goggy, in the Alpha Tauri. Good result, mate. Run us through your race, and are you happy with the result in general?
Yeah, I mean, started pretty poorly in the sprint, and then got lucky there, and then started P6 in the race. So, I mean, really couldn't get much more out of it. So
yeah, were there any incidents in your race, or was it relatively clean?
I mean, after the safety car restarts, it's always going to be dirty a little bit, but that's really the only part that was a little dirty from my side and other people's sides.
Yeah, so P3, mate, congrats. We'll now move on to P2, who was a Pocket, mate. P2, do you feel you could have matched SV, or was he just in a different level, and are you happy with the P2?
Look, definitely happy with the P2, but nah, it was not matching SV. His pace was just in another
another world. I had absolutely no practice coming to the weekend, so I was kind of like hoping just for a top five finish. So to get a P2 is definitely more than I was expecting. So
Yeah, there was a little bit of carnage behind you, but you seem to keep your head cool. Do you want to walk us through that, or were you not even aware that there was stuff going on behind you?
honestly, I knew there was a four-man battle behind me, and I was kind of just trying to keep my line clean, so I wasn't getting any penalties. Just trying to pull away while managing tires. I think at some point during the race, I had a little bit of contact with Zonic, so I don't really know what happened. It was just, yeah, it was a bit of a racing incident, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I had no idea what was going on behind me. I was just trying to keep my race as clean as possible.
Yeah, well, congrats on the P2, mate, and I'm sure I'll talk to you after the race in the
Thank
other
you.
Discord server. Alrighty, the man of the day, SV P1, mate. Absolutely dominant performance. Do you want to walk us through it, or was it relatively simple on your end?
Yeah, I just came into quali. I was planning on getting at least 30 minutes of practice in, but PC had some technical issues. Wasn't even sure I was going to make it into quali, so that messed up my practice. But came in, car felt good, setup was good. Took pole and the quali, came in sprint, led every lap, won that one, and that kind of just set me up for the race. I felt in the sprint the softs were a good tire. Nobody else really looked for the softer med strategy in the race, but that was what I was aiming for, no matter what, safety car or not. And yeah, I got jumped off the start on the softs. A bit disappointed by that, but then after the virtual, I managed to get them back anyway. And from there, it was pretty straightforward. Just stick to the strategy. After the safety car restart, not many people tried to fight me too hard. They kind of just waved me by in the straight, and from there, it was yeah, relatively calm, just managing tires and trying not to put it in the wall, really.
Yeah, did you... What were your mediums on? Because I assume they were hurting towards the end.
They were on 50% as I crossed the line. Didn't really have to push them too hard as the other boys had to go through traffic, so played a big part in the race win. And yeah, I'm happy with that result after having barely any practice.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Grand Slam as well. P1 in the sprint, P1 in quality, P1 in the race. So great result, mate. And yeah, thank you guys for doing interviews. And yeah, see you guys next week. And that was it for Tier 1 ORL. And next week, I don't actually know what track it is. Does anybody have the calendar up on their screen by any chance? I know it's a low chance. I'll just check quickly. Where is it? Am I blind? Why can't I can never find the calendar, chat.
It is Mexico.
Mexico is next, so that should be interesting. Okay, so next week is